All right. This is episode 17.3 of Ladies and Gents. We have a special guest. Look at her. That is my sister,
Yes.
Meredith, uh, looking great with those black rimmed glasses and those cat ears. Um,
You know,
Mer-
my 12:30 at night Saturday chic. This is
yeah,
what we call.
yeah. So, Meredith, are you excited to be on the podcast?
I'm super pumped.
Yeah.
Um, I like watching it. It's fun. Mom and I like watching it, so
And
it's
that's
fun.
awesome. When you told me earlier, that really like made me happy. Um, yeah, when you said that you guys had watched it and thought it was good.
Big ass
Um,
television. Well, it's like 70 something fucking inches. It's like on the wall. It's like fucking huge.
yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Huge ass fucking TV. Um, but yeah, so we just kind of wanted to, Meredith and I wanted to do this and just kind of touch base. Because I love Meredith to death. She's one of my best friends.
Same.
And I think it's super cool that we have this opportunity to kind of like just talk and catch up and like talk about music and shit, right? I mean, it's kind of it's an extension of what Ladies and Gents is.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
um,
we live what 20, maybe like 15, 20 minutes away from each other now.
yeah, I know, I
Yeah.
know,
It's cool though, but it's nice because we're busy, everybody's busy, and I'm in
yeah,
school and I'm working and you're working and you're doing, everything else you're doing and it's hard, but this is
yeah.
fun. This is
It,
Zoom than when I'm sitting in my damn school meetings, that's for sure. My
right.
class
This is this
more.
is this is a good Zoom meeting, right? This
Yeah.
is a good one. So, and I know it's kind of shitty that there's a lot of people out there that it's like, you know, they get to Zoom with their siblings and they're like, 15 to 2,000 miles away from each other. And we're very close to each other. So I think we need to work on that. I
You know,
think,
I can
yeah,
see, I mean, remember up until recently, I was living in Massachusetts, which was a good 800 miles away. So
right. Exactly.
FaceTime was great, though. FaceTime was a good invention.
Yeah.
We had fun with that, but this is way better. It's
Yeah.
like, this is way better. Way better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that it's just knowing that we are as close as we are now
Yeah.
again, then we just, need to get, you know, try to get back together more often, right?
Sure. Sure. For sure.
Because we
Yeah.
do have that ability to do it, right?
For, for
Yeah.
sure.
So,
I'm definitely looking forward to the day that I'm done with school, which hopefully will be in December. If everything goes well. Um,
fuck yeah,
Besides that, it doesn't matter. We definitely need to hang out, so it's fine. Whatever.
yeah, we can go out and do shit, whatever. But this is a subgenre of Ladies and Gents, so that means this is a musical podcast. So, Meredith, I do have to ask you, who is your current favorite group or band or solo artist, or who is it?
Okay, so I really love a group from South Korea called BTS. Their Korean name is Bangtan Sonyeondan, which is where the BTS comes from,
Okay.
which means it translates to loosely to Bulletproof Boy Scouts, which was their name given to them in 2013 when they started.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So, how did you find out about them?
One of my girlfriends online, Lily, who lives in Chicago, were in this group about like because we really were like Pod Save America kind of groupies, like a couple years ago, and that's how I met her. But 3 years ago, almost to the day, they had released a new album, and in the weeks leading up to it, she kept telling us in the chat like, "You guys don't understand, like." I'm in BTS lockdown. Like, I know y'all don't understand this, but this is a huge freaking deal. They're going to be on SNL and they're going to debut their new song on SNL. And this is like the biggest thing that's ever happened to this group. You know what I mean? And she's like, I'm really nervous. And I'm just like, oh, I'm like, I never disliked it. I said, that's really cool. I had always seen BTS on Twitter for years and years, and I didn't understand it. I was like, they were always trending and stuff. And I was like, okay, whatever. Um, but then she kind of turned me on to it. And as soon as I saw the SNL, and then I started getting into it, and I downloaded the first song that I heard, which was Boy with Love, which was with Halsey.
As I
So it's
said, I
in,
was with Halsey, right? Yeah.
yeah, so that was April 2019. So it was 3 years ago. Um, I I downloaded that, and Lily said, this song is totally different than the rest of their songs. It's very like bubblegum pop. Um, and I like that kind of stuff, but I understood I would like to see other sides. It's not like my favorite genre, but
Right.
more than just, even more than just the music, I was attracted to like their personalities, and obviously they're all good looking, and there's that, they have this, you know, I've written and read a ton of like fan fiction for various genres for like, I don't know, 15 years. No, more than that, like probably 20, 25 years or something. And one of my favorite tropes in fanfic is called the found family trope. So when you watch a TV show and it's all these like, bumbling people that somehow get thrown together, but they all like basically become this cohesive unit, that's what's called a found family trope. And that's what they are, really. I mean, they all auditioned. They were all from different parts of Korea.
So can I ask you this real quick? Because I don't know. I
Yeah.
want to ask.
Yeah.
So was it like similar to how they made like In Sync and Backstreet Boys, or was there like a
Yeah.
or
Um,
was it more like in UK where they had like, or they do like competitions to like bring these people together?
so the K-pop industry has taken a lot from the audition format, like as far as like bringing people together, like on a TV show now. Now they've done that a couple of times.
Hmm.
But when BTS was coming up, um, it was K-pop was still, maybe only 15 years old or so, the actual genre. There were three, there are three big companies, um, SMYG, and I can't remember the other one. Anyway, they were the big three companies that got all the money. They had all the talent. They were the ones with all the popularity. They're the ones, when you hear about K-pop industry factories and stuff, that's who they're talking about.
Yeah.
Are those the if you look up K-pop, the big three, anytime before like 2018, it's these three groups. JYP, YG, and SM. That's what it is. JYP, SM, and YG. So those are the three big groups.
So another question.
That's from a small group. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
So there was that dude that with Backstreet Boys and In Sync and shit, right?
Luke Rowan?
Yeah, that the fat guy, like
Yeah.
that.
The one
Yeah,
that like a child molester. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So was it that sort of thing that was going on in
Um,
Korea, or
no, the way that the way the entertainment industry in Korea is different is that everybody works for an agency. Whether you're a singer, a dancer, an actor, anything like that, you're put into an entertainment agency. So it's kind of like signing with an agent here in, like in Hollywood and stuff, in the United States.
but is it
But
trustworthy? Do you think it's
yeah,
trustworthy, or okay?
yeah.
Yeah,
If you go with one of the three big companies, it's trustworthy,
yeah,
but are they going to treat you right? I mean, you just don't know.
yeah.
That's what made BTS very different. They were they were formed by, we affectionately call him Bang PD, which Bang PD Nim means like producer Bang PD, like producer Bang. His name is really Bang Shi Hook. So like Bang is his last name. It's his family name because that's how that's opposite
That's
in Korea.
yeah. Can you
Right.
explain that? Like that's how it goes. Like it's so it's they normally say like last name and then
Yeah.
first.
So
Yeah.
like example, like Jimin from BTS, his name is Park Jimin or Park Jimin,
Mm,
but in the United States he would be called Jimin Park
yeah. Right.
because of the culture in Asia, and this happens in China, Japan, all that stuff. So actually, I think it's not in Japan, but definitely in China, they do the family name is first and then the given name.
Mm.
Um, so
And Park Jimin,
yeah,
my man.
the you and the rest of the great men of the world, get in line.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, he is so hot.
And God, they all love Jimin. So there's some really funny YouTube reactions of straight men with Jimin too. Like,
I mean, how can you resist it?
that is I can see when I can say that's a
I
beautiful man.
can see him right
Yeah.
behind you on the wall.
I'm like, yeah, this is like I would say that years ago. Um, I'm in the process of, I think we're gonna paint my room. We're gonna get somebody to paint because we're both too old and tired. We don't want to freaking do that
No,
ourselves.
just
So
fucking hire it. Who cares?
we're gonna hire somebody to paint. I'm gonna do like a very, not this bright blue, but it's gonna be like more of a light blue gray, kind of a really light color.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you.
Okay, so Bang PD, he's not like Lou Pearlman whatsoever. He basically, what happens if somebody wants to be an idol or an actor or whatever, they have to audition in front of entertainment companies. Um, so a lot of times they'll have global auditions, which means that they'll have, a lot of times they just have casting calls. They're not going out and really looking for people or whatever. Usually what happens is there's casting calls, and then people come in, somebody wants to be an idol. Well, then you need to prove that you can sing and you can dance and you can do both at the same time. You know what I mean? Or for example, for an actor, it'd be like auditioning for a movie, like you would do your monologue or whatever type of thing you were going to do. Um, so the company that BTS came from was originally called Big Hit Entertainment. It was founded in 2008, I believe 2007, by Bang PD. I'll just call him for that. He had a couple groups come in and out. He had a couple groups that he formed. He had one of the first co-ed K-pop groups, meaning there was boys and girls, because 99.99% of the groups are separated by sex, which is a whole other can of fish about Korea. We'll skip that. So he had some success with some solo artists and things like that. But around 2010, he did an audition in Korea, and he wanted to build a hip hop group. He wanted it to be very hip hop focused, rappers. He wanted just rappers.
Well,
Um,
sorry, had this existed? Like, had there been any other like hip hop groups before there, or
yeah, so the first the first technical K-pop group was in 1992, was called Sao Taiji and the Boys. And if you look at their pictures, they dress kind of like if TLC, like in the early 90s, were guys. Like they had the big
fuck yeah,
baggy,
that's what's up.
cool fuck, you know what I mean? And their music was really
Yeah.
good. But they were a revolution. They were the first group that they were like, this is something totally
Did they
different, because
did they do English or just straight Korean?
sorry, Korean.
Yeah.
A lot of K-pop now has,
They
you'll
feel
hear,
do they feel like they're do they like, and that's a big question I have. Like,
yeah,
do you feel like they're forced to do English in some points? Because I mean, just
yeah.
fucking keep it straight Korean. Who cares? But do you feel
Um,
like their producers and their engineers and their labels are saying like you need to do some English?
they weren't pushed to do any English music until Big Hit got so big,
Yeah,
um,
because now
that it
BTS is fucking the
become a
big.
corporate, global corporate entity.
Yeah.
Including Scooter Braun, Big Machine, all that stuff over on this side of this on this states.
Okay.
So technically, Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber, and BTS are technically label mates. They're different. They're
Really?
just,
I didn't know
yeah.
that.
So they merged with Hybe merged with Ithaca Recordings, which is Scooter Braun's a piece of shit, but you know what I mean. Scooter Braun is the one that owns that, and he used to own Big Machine Records, and he's the one that took Taylor. He bought Taylor Swift's,
Oh, that's who it is.
would not sell them back to her. And that's the reason why she's had to re-record, because she lost her masters. He had sold them off or whatever.
What a fucking asshole.
He's a fucking douchebag, and like,
That's horrible.
so it makes me kind of sick when I see pictures of like Bang PD like forcing BTS to hang out with them, like, oh, to hang out with Scooter, because they love Justin Bieber. It's not his fault.
Yeah. Well, I think
That's for Justin Bieber. You know, he was group, you know.
maybe BTS at some point can move and go somewhere else, right? I mean, get away from that douchebag, because clearly he's already fucking shown his colors, right? He's already shown that he's gonna fuck you over. And Taylor Swift, one of the biggest artists in the entire world, right? So the fact that if they're even associated with him, they at least
I would like that. Of course, these were all the questions that we all asked as fans, like when this first happened. This merger happened maybe about a year ago. But Scooter Braun, whatever it's going there, that section is called Hybe America, because now they're the Hybe Corporation, HYBE. They're totally separate. They will never put a finger on BTS ever. BTS, going back to the beginning, he was looking for a hip hop group. Bang PD. He was called Hitman. They call him Hitman Bang because he had produced a ton of like hit songs and stuff like that. So he got the nickname Hitman Bang. So you might see him as Bang PD or Hitman Bang. He's a short little dude, and he's really round, and he's super sweet. And he's like their older brother now. You know, they're a family now. Anyway, so in 2010, he did the auditions. He had Kim Namjoon, who is RM. He's the leader of the group. He was the first person that was put BTS.
In BTS. So which one is he in BTS?
So Kim Namjoon is the one that speaks English fluently.
Okay. Yeah.
So he, I probably should just have a picture or something to show you, but we can.
Oh, I can. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Hold on.
So Kim Namjoon is the leader of BTS because all K-pop groups are leader.
So he's the one that he has the like blonde hair, and he speaks the best English.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And he's like a legitimate genius. He has like a 148 IQ, and he started rapping.
Shit.
Yeah. He started rapping. He started writing lyrics when he was probably like 11 or 12. And he was influenced by Nas and people like that of that time period. And he decided he wanted to be a rapper, but he was so smart. His parents were like, really? We really want you to go to college. Like, we want you to, you know, be a successful businessman or whatever, doctor, lawyer, because he was super smart. And his parents eventually came to the point where they're like, this is what he wants to do. So they supported him.
So his parents like fully supported him, like doing the whole music thing.
Oh yeah, sure. After a while.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I don't think it took that long, because when they read what he was writing, it was just like brilliant, you know.
They're like, okay, we get it.
Yeah.
You clearly know what you want to do, and you are qualified to do it. So just do it.
I'm a BTS fan, I get it. But his command of language, and also Hangul, which is the written out Korean language that you see the characters, that's called Hangul.
So it's kind of like pinyin with Mandarin. It's the written out. Yeah.
Exactly. That's the written out. It's called Hangul. Okay. So his command of that, it's crazy. Like there's a song called Trivia Love, which was one of his soloist songs that he did on one of their albums a couple years ago. And it's like something like you smooth out my edges and turn me from human to a love. And then when you see human and love, the character for human has like a square, like a part of it has rough edges, like
Hmm.
the box. And then to love, it's smooth. So it's like shit like that where he'll be like you
Wait,
wrote that.
wait, 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 wait. Hold on.
Yeah.
So they were taking the juxtaposition between those two written characters in
Yeah.
Korean,
Hmm.
but then they use the lyrics to show that we're going to smooth out the.
Yeah. He's like, you smooth out my rough edges and turn me from human to a love.
That's
And
cool. I like
what
that. That's
it's
cool.
huge box and it's shit like that. He's fucking
And that's
I
just
won't.
V.
That's RM.
Oh, RM. Sorry.
Yeah, Kim Namjoon. So um he's
I can't keep them straight.
it's all right. I'll give you a diagram. Anyway, that's what I say. We could be really lame and I could
I'm
find
embarrassed that I fucked that up.
like I'll sign. I've got a couple of,
So, but I did want to ask you,
yeah,
um, what is do you have a favorite album by them?
yes.
Okay.
It's called Love Yourself Tear.
Okay. Love Yourself Tear.
Yes.
Let me see if I can find it.
It's from 2018.
Yeah, I think I found it.
So the other thing about
It's
K-pop is
so on Spotify it says Love Yourself Answer.
okay, so
Um
that's but it should be Love Yourself TAER.
okay, cool. Going
That
back.
was the other thing I wanted to bring
Again.
up was that Cape, you know how American artists like say, I don't know, Dua Lipa, she'll release an album
Don't
and
you
then
talk about Dua Lipa.
well, I'm not, it's
Jeez.
not about me. Because I saw you and I was like, well, I know you fucking love Dua Lipa. That's like you're like second.
God, I
So
love her so
she's your
much.
like I get it.
Yeah,
So
I love her so much.
she's pretty great.
Uh,
So, so she'll record an album and then in maybe a year and a half to 2 years, you'll get another album from her.
mm,
Whereas in K-pop, everything's very condensed. So they form a group and they'll do like a couple mini albums and then they'll do a compilation album of the two mini albums plus new songs. And it's always like an era. So they're all the two mini albums and the compilation album, they all relate to each other thematically. So this particular one that I'm telling you about was from 2017 to 2018. So we call that the Love Yourself era because first it was Love Yourself Her, which was supposed to symbolize the beginnings of a relationship and like being excited about meeting a new person. So a lot of the song, not all of them, most of the songs are like that. They're like, oh, this new love, you found this new love and all this and how happy you are. And then Love Yourself Tear is the second one. And it came out, I think, about 6 months or so after Love Yourself Her. Love Yourself Tear is the breakup of whatever relationship in the beginning that you felt was like, this is my person. So all the songs, not all of them, but a lot of them were kind of questioning love and like questioning, like breaking up with someone and questioning like, what happened or why was I with this person and things like that. Again, not all the songs, but the majority of them are. Um, and then the final one that you saw first came out like 3 months after that. And it was called Love Yourself Answer. And what that is a compilation album. So they took some of the ones from Her, a couple of the ones from Tear, and they put it on Answer, but they also added new songs. And then they put like remixes and stuff too.
God,
So
there's so many songs on this album. Jesus. No, even just I finally found the album in which you're talking, but the love yourself answer. There's so many, but then I finally found love yourself tier. So I have it here. So do you have a favorite song off that album? Because we can listen to it and I'm down to sit here and listen to it. We can just fucking vibe to it if you're cool with it. I know it's like almost 1 a.m.
Oh, no, I'll tell you. It's called 134340. And this just blows you away about how artistic these people are. Do you see it on there? 134340.
Yeah. I don't know why the name of it just changed to saying ugh. Let me know. I'm gonna play it for 2 seconds. Let me know if this is it.
Yeah, that's from a different album.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think, oh yeah, that came off of Map of Soul. Yeah, exactly. My Spotify like moved around a lot. All right, so we're looking at let's see here. This is Love Yourself 134340. Is that correct? That's what we're looking for.
Just before you start, 134340 is the designation that NASA gave Pluto once they downgraded it to a dwarf planet.
Fucking assholes.
So technically not called Pluto anymore. It's called 134340. It's just a number.
Wow.
So the song is a metaphor. It's an extended metaphor about when you lose someone and you break up with them, you're downgraded. You're like non-existent to them anymore.
Yeah, you're just a fucking number now.
Even if like the whole chorus is about I'm still orbiting around you, but you didn't find me, you can see me. So you're still orbiting around them because you still love them, but they don't even recognize you anymore.
God, what a fucking metaphor.
Okay, go for it. But it's also as fucking excellent.
Yeah, you know what?
Let's hit it.
Fuck off. Pluto's still a planet and it's coming back.
It is. Fuck those
people. I'll be right back.
나의 계절은 언제나 너였어. 내 차가운 심장은 영하 248도. 네가 날 지운 그날 멈췄어. 솔직히 말해 네가 없던 1년쯤 너매지 흔히 말하는 미련도 어떤 지난 날 이젠 깜빡 네 향기 따윈 기억도 안 나 잠깐 근데 어디선가 맡아봤던 향수인데 기억이 어렴풋이 피어날 듯해 저기 고개를 돌려보니 환하게 웃으며 다가오는 네 옆엔 안녕 나는 뭐 잘 지내 왠지 터치는 내 심장과는 달리 이 순간 온도는 영하 238
I'm just Yeah.
함께 너와의 여전히 미소 띈 날 지켜보지 의미도 너도 다 없는 불규칙 내게도 현실 너에게 기억하기 힘든 숫자와 어둠의 수로 그래도 계속 난 너의 주위를 맴돌겠지 damn
Meredith, that was a banger. That
Like,
was,
I
that
wish
was
they do
good.
more- Well, I wish they do more shit like that. Like, honestly, a lot of their shit is very experimental, but that was the first time they like experimented with like that type of shit.
Yeah, but I mean, I like how chill it was.
Yeah.
But like, didn't they come in with that last break with the rap? Like, I thought
Yeah.
that was sick. I
Yeah.
liked that a lot. That was good.
And if you're getting, I always tell people like if you're getting into BTS, you need to.
Well, let's hold the phone.
But I'm just saying the Google lyrics and stuff. It's the Google the English, yeah.
You and I both know I'm not getting into BTS.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm just. This is what I always tell people: is that you need to learn the English stuff, their translation.
Yeah. No,
You get the idea of it.
and you know this. I have never once said it wasn't sick. I think it's sick.
yeah.
I like it. I just like. I just
Yeah.
haven't gotten into it, and I don't think I
You
ever
don't-
will.
As long as you respect it.
No, absolutely. I mean,
good.
I've told you before that I gotten in. I didn't get into it, but like twice. That one Korean band,
Yeah.
it's like 9 girls.
They're big, yeah. So
She was sick.
like 27 people. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. There's like I think there's like 364 people in the group.
17. Which the group's named 17, but they have like 19 people in it.
Yeah. So I mean like K-pop is obviously not in my like normal lexicon. Like that's not
funny. It wasn't for me either until I found BTS.
Yeah,
and
but like,
I swear to you, the only other K-pop group that I have some of their songs and I enjoy some of their songs is called Tomorrow by Together. And the only reason I like them is because they were the first group that came after BTS and Big Hit. So they're like what they call their
is it
Hubei.
boys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's abbreviated TXT, but they're Tomorrow by Together. It's like 5 boys. Well, they're adults now, but they started in 2019. That was their debut year. They've gotten super popular, a lot of it maybe because of BTS, but they're also like super, like they're a good group, yeah. But other than that, I don't give a shit about the rest of K-pop except for Taemin. I do love Taemin from SHINee, and right now he's in the military, which that's
I don't know what the fuck are you even talking about?
About South Korea in the military, because by the end of this year, Jin is the oldest person in BTS, and he's gonna have to go to the army. They're the military.
Which one's Jin?
He's a singer. He's really tall, and let me see. He is. They call him like worldwide handsome or whatever. He's so cute.
So will he have to do like 2 years, kind of like how Israel does? Israel does.
Right now it's 18.
I literally just said like how Israel does.
So right now it's 18 months, but there have been numerous bills in the South Korean legislature to try to get it so they don't have to serve, because they've already served their country in so many other ways, and they've like brought
I mean they could.
So they give exemptions to men who win a gold medal in the Olympics.
Mhm.
And they've also given exemptions to some classical artists, but never to a K-pop. And that's why they're kind of like, it's K-pop. And it's a very conservative country.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. It's like, is it not good enough that they've made all that money doing K-pop, like, and serve their country that way, right?
It's just the culture that they've spread, the Korean culture. They've brought pride to their country, and like, that's
Yeah.
a huge thing for them. So
Okay,
this
I
is,
guess they don't give a fuck.
can you see him?
Oh, yes, yes.
That's Jin. So he's the oldest one.
I thought he was like one of the younger ones.
He turns 30 in December.
Jesus
So
wept.
Used to, well, they've even changed the age that you must, for the age of conscription, where it used to be 28. By 28 you had to go, but they moved it to 30 because of BTS. So now, but the problem is that, not to get too much in the weeds, but the South Korean legislature basically has now elected their own version of Donald Trump. You know what I mean? So yeah, and he has a 5-year term, and it's just like, anyway, we'll see what happens. I'm not worried. If they do go to, if and when they get the military, they'll probably all go together, and that's, so it'll be 18 months that they'll be off, and that's like no big deal. So,
well, you know what? Like, if they are all in the military, they're gonna come up with some good fucking songs, and they're gonna write some good shit. So, do you all right, so we listened to that song off Love Yourself. Do you have like is that your favorite song in general, or like do you have a favorite album?
that one's definitely in my top 3.
Okay.
If you're looking for like a pure rap song, I can tell you like my favorite. They've put out ciphers. So it's like Cypher Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, basically, because
Jesus wept. How many songs is that?
basically, so the group was formed as a hip hop group, right, or a rap group, and it was
and that's, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I mean that's where you had told me before, back in the day. You were like, they used to be just like a rap band or a rap group. But then they went more pop. Is that right? Like,
a lot of that was the decision of Bang PD. So Namjoon was the first person that was recruited specifically because of his skills as a rapper and a writer. And then secondly, they got Yoongi, who auditioned, Min Yoongi, aka Suga. He had auditioned Suga, which is short for shooting guard, because that was the position he played with basketball.
Okay.
It was the idea of the company to give him that name, and he was like, that's fine, that's all right, whatever. But he likes it now. He didn't like it before, but and then so they were together for about, the two of them were together living in like a dorm for about, I don't know, a year or so. And then J-Hope joined. J-Hope was originally a dance. He's one of the best dancers, like one of the best street dancers in Korea. Like he won all these competitions.
What's J-Hope's real name?
Jung Ho Sok.
Okay.
Yeah. So he won all these competitions, and he didn't even know how to rap. He only started writing raps when he moved in with Namjoon and Yoongi, because they were rapping. And it turns out he's like a fucking genius at rapping and dancing, and he has got a great singing voice. So they had the 3 of those guys for a while. But I guess even though it was a small company, there were people within the company that were like, this is just not, we need to have, other people, we need to have singers. But the whole thing was, they lured these 3 people into BTS because they told them it wasn't going to be an idol group. Like it wasn't going to be an idol group. It wasn't going to,
like not like a superstar group.
Right.
Yeah.
K-pop stars are called idols in Korea. Okay. They didn't really, they didn't want to be in a K-pop group. They wanted to be in like a Korean hip hop group, because they're Korean hip hop stars, rappers, that sort of thing. So where the ciphers come in to kind of tie it back to what I was telling you before, is that beginning, they were doing a lot of like underground rap battles. And there was a couple rappers in Korea that were older than them that when they found out they were going in, it was going to be an idol group, they started talking massive amounts of shit about them, like unreal, all over the internet, all this. So basically, it's taken all these ciphers for them to finally get their fucking words out about how much they fucking hate these people and how much better they are than them. So just like a straight rap line song, because they have rap line songs and then they have vocal line songs. But for the straight rap line song, my favorite would be Cypher number 3, which is from Dark and Wild, which actually Dark and Wild is my favorite album, to be honest.
That's your favorite album, like?
Yeah, I don't know why it's tier. It's Love Yourself tier, I think is if you polled everyone in the whole world about like all the armies that live everywhere, they would say Love Yourself tier. But for me personally, it's Dark and Wild.
Dark and Wild. Okay.
It's very, it's like the last album they did that was purely like R&B, hip hop, rap focus before they changed sort of more into kind of like the
fucking albums these people have. Jesus Christ. I'm scrolling through so many.
Like, that's just how the Korean music industry is. You'll see like Tomorrow by Together's bigger.
Okay, so I found so I found Dark and Wild. What is the name of the song?
The name of the song that I like the best on that album, or the one I was telling?
Either one. I mean, I'm just trying to, put out some of this music.
Hey, I will say, just so I don't want to give you the slow song, I don't want to bring it down. So let's say
don't give me the fucking interlude. What are you doing now?
No, let me know. Let me know it's a good song, but that's kind of a like whatever. Danger is a bop. It is a fucking bop.
It's a bop. All right. This is about to be 4 minutes and 5 seconds of a bop. And if it bops enough, we're just gonna let it play. So let's just do it.
Okay. So this is 2014. They've been a group for almost 10 years. So they were still babies.
핸드폰은 장색 내 남친이 맡긴 하니 I'm sick 왜 숙제처럼 표현들은 mirror 우리 무슨 business 아님 내가 싫어 던던 되게 던던 좀 살가워져라 오늘도 또 주문을 빌어 우린 평행선 같은 곳을 보지만 넌 다르지 난 나밖에 없는데 왜 너 밖에 있는 것만 같은지 공하면 넌 물어 삐쳤니 나 삐지게 했던 적이나 있었니 너 귀엽니 나 침몸이 생기길 네가 다 사랑하는 기적이 내가 없는데 난 너로 가득해 미칠 것 같아 근데 왜 이러는데 왜 밤을 만들어 난 이제 경고해 헷갈리게 하지마 장난해 나 도대체 내가 뭐야 맘만 해 날 갖고 노는 거야 너 지금 위험해 왜 나를 시험해 왜 나를 시험해 헷갈리게 하지마 장난해 나 도대체 내가 뭐야 맘만 해 날 갖고 노는 거야 너 지금 위험해 왜 나를 시험해 왜 나를 시험해 헷갈리게 하지마 헷갈리게 하지마 헷갈리게 하지마 연락 부대줄 연락서 배줄
Yo,
여자 분심을 수색줄 고작 보내준 게 문자 두세줄 이게 내가 바랬던 연애 꿈 바람만장 럽소리 다 어디 갔나 드라마 나온 주인공들 다 저리
A car horn.
Love Loser.
Shit was sick.
Ah,
I loved it. That was good. I liked it a lot.
yeah. And that was like, that was a year after they debuted. So it was, BTS is kind of a combination of fate, like destiny, also just a bunch of talented motherfuckers they brought together. And good producers, co-writers. They produce and write a lot of their own stuff.
Okay.
But they have a great team with them. They had a great team with Big Hit. And one of the things I like the most about their company is that the people that were with them from the beginning, like all their staff people, the security, the managers, all those like lower level people, are the same people that are still with them now. Like their choreographer from 2011 is still their choreographer today.
So they have a good team.
Yeah, they have an excellent team.
Yeah.
They were BTS basically took Big Hit from a middle to lower level failing entertainment company to one of the top contributors to the GDP in South Korea. They're actually, when you look at a pie, one of those pie charts, HYBE is actually in the pie chart that contributing to the GDP. It's just like Samsung, Hyundai, like all that, and then it's like HYBE. It's a small percentage, but it's still interesting.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Their popularity in literally every single country in the world, I think took everyone by surprise. And most of that has to do with, number one, obviously it's the talent, the music, their personalities. They're very engaging. They're really a very cohesive unit. Their company was one of the first ones to sort of do a lot of like multimedia interaction connections with bands. They spent like 6 months they created a Twitter account like 6 months before they debuted, and they were posting on it every single day, like getting ready to debut and
yeah. They planned it accordingly.
Exactly.
Right?
So they got an international audience pretty soon, more than the other K-pop stars who, initially get popular in Korea and then they kind of filter, and then Japan, and then they kind of filter like into the West a little bit. But it was totally different with them because it's the formula cannot be duplicated, and like that's the whole thing. Is the K-pop industry is really sad right now because they're spending all this money and they're trying to duplicate what BTS is, but it's like trying to duplicate like what the chemistry between the Beatles was like, and what the synchronicity between John and Paul, and how they work together and how they wrote songs together.
Yeah, but there's fucking 7 of
them. But what's cool about there being 7, I think that makes it, everybody has a role. Everybody has.
No, and I know that, and I don't want to cut you off. I'm just saying, like, I understand that, like,
Yeah.
but that's the cool thing is like some of them rap, some of them sing, some of them are, you know, they do, they're alto, some
Yeah.
of them are baritone.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how it is, and they
Yeah.
seem to work very great together, and they're, you know, with, like you'd said earlier, like the synchronicity and like the way they work together is great. And the choreography is awesome.
Yeah.
Um, we're just in a different world now than like where the Beatles were at that point.
Mhm.
I mean, the Beatles was four dudes. Obviously, they were great, but we didn't have the fucking internet at that point.
Mm-mm.
So they didn't have to deal with the scrutiny every single day, real time, coming at them every single day and them having to defend it. Whereas BTS, they have to deal with that.
Well, and also xenophobia, racism, all kinds of other things.
That is true as well. Yeah.
We'll say this one last thing about BTS relationship as a whole. K-pop groups, when they're in training, and they're trying to pick, I don't know, 6 dudes out of a bubble of 10 dudes, they'll have everybody live together. Everybody lives in a dorm type situation where you
Oh
have
God.
place to sleep, you have a bathroom, and then there's the kitchen, and then that's about it.
Yikes.
They went in and they saw, we have TV, MTV. Well, they did on the Korean MTV, they did this show called American Hustle Life in 2014, which was probably the most exploitative thing that they ever did, and probably would never have done it if they knew what was going to happen to them. Anyway, so they, at the beginning of this show, this reality show, they went in and saw their dorm, and they all used to sleep in one room. There were 3 sets of bunk beds, and then Jungkook, because he was only like 14, like they let him have a single bed. They had one bathroom. They had a kitchen, a very small kitchen. Jen and Yoongi used to make them dinner every night if the company had money to give them food. They literally their group came from nothing. The company came from nothing. So
Right. I mean, they worked their fucking asses off.
yeah, they've worked their asses off for like
Yeah.
8 or 9 years, and to see the fruition of what the work that they've put in, and how
Right.
much everyone around them has been blessed and touched and has succeeded, and they've brought so many people up with them. But in the very beginning, it was just 7 kids from different parts of Korea.
And think
Some of them
about how much like,
crazy.
and that's what I was gonna say. Like, think about how much joy those 7 kids have brought to you personally.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool.
Millions of others. It's just,
Yeah.
it's,
But not even,
it's,
I mean, fuck everybody else. Just you.
yeah.
Just
Yeah.
you. The fact
What-
that
yeah.
their music makes you happy and you enjoy it, right? So I think that means more than anything else.
I mean, they always like people, the fandom thing is that you don't find BTS until they find you, meaning that they find you when you need them the most.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
So
so are so you're happy. So does BTS make you happy?
of course, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
that's all that matters. At the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. Like, whatever.
It's different than any other kind of group that I've liked. It's like being part of like a community, and
Right.
you feel happiness. They give you happiness, but you also feel proud of them.
Yeah.
Because of what they've accomplished and how far they've come, but it's purely on their talent, and just them being really decent human beings, and
Yeah.
very entertaining, energetic people
And-
that
and-
everybody falls in love with.
so so what I was saying is like, just BTS in general, you enjoying them and make you happy. And then you said, you're happy to see them do well. I
Yeah.
agree. Like, I'm happy they're doing well. There's so many bands that I listen to that I'm like, when I see them that they do well, I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, I want to see them prosper and do well and like put out new albums and sell out fucking concerts and shit. So it's like, if I can live vicariously through some of these other people, and if that
Yeah.
makes me feel happier, then I think we all win, right?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So, but I think our next episode. So you have to. What did we say that episode was going to be called? It was
Annyong.
Annyong. Yeah. So it's going to be. It'll be ladies and gents.
Sorry to any Korean
17.3 Annyong.
about that.
And
Yeah.
then the next
Okay.
one you and I will do, I think we need to talk about Fleetwood Mac, to be honest with you.
We're really gonna bust open the archives and really just
we are. Oh, we are 100%. Absolutely. That's what we're doing here.
get the fucking time machine out, just fucking back to when I was like 125 pounds and I was like 23. And
Yeah.
I was traveling around the world on my Maggiano salary. Like
that the point here is that we
Yeah.
can tap into memories about music, and we can see how much it's really shaped our lives.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
And kind of get those moments coming where you get those goosebumps back. You know what I'm saying? Where like you hear that music, you're like, oh shit, like God, I fucking remember this song. So
I feel that way about Riley Kelly.
Riley Kelly could be the next one. I mean,
Fleetwood Mac, the only reason it's because I'm like a really stubborn hard ass bitch, and I got so mad when Stevie got Lindsay kicked out of the group.
then we can leave Fleetwood Mac out. I understand that as
that's okay. No. I don't mind talking about them. It would be kind of I kind of want to, but it'd be like kind of embarrassing talking about like how many times I saw them when I was like 22, 23.
Well, trust me, if you want to bring in anybody else that wants to do it with us, they can come in too. They can hop in and share their, because I have a lot of, I don't know if Marissa would want to come in here. Not my Marissa, your Marissa. If she would want to come in and shoot the shit about it.
She might. Yeah, she might.
She might. So
it was a fun time, but I will say the only reason that I would like to talk about Fleetwood Mac is because I met the most amazing people that I'm still with. Like, this is going on 20 years now.
Yeah.
The majority of them I've never met in real life, but we're still friends.
But that's so cool though. And that's the reason why I wanted to do this. Like, that's the reason why I want to talk about music and just kind of go through shit, because like the friends you make via music, like they become like close friends, and it's over just music. Music is the staying power of our lives for the most part, besides family, which is cool.
Yeah, because you can't, it's not like a TV show or a movie where there's, interpretation of things or whatever, but it's so transient. But music will always be there. And it's not like I'm not gonna pick up, I really like The West Wing. Like, I'm not gonna sit down tomorrow and pick up The West Wing and start watching it again. You know what I mean?
Right. But if The West Wing was an album, then you might pick it up again and listen to it again.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like,
did you like the way it sounded?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's totally right. I think that music just um
Music transcends so many things,
yeah.
and it brings people together, and it creates this like community of listening to it. So if there's any sort of um arguments about it or anything, like people can go back and forth and talk about it.
Yeah.
But the music's never going to go anywhere. It's there.
Yeah.
So I think music is cool. So oh,
Of course.
that's the dumbest thing I've ever said. I think music is cool.
I think it's super rad. It's super rad. Yeah.
You know, I heard about this thing called music and it's cool.
So
No, yeah, no. You know what I meant.
yeah,
Like
I did.
if because you know we could talk about all the Fleetwood Mac shit and all that. So
Mhm.
I think it would be interesting
talk
if
about
we
what
did that.
Because I'll give you some, what would be funny is I could talk about Fleetwood Mac, but then I'd give you the real stanky stank about how it all went down.
I mean, if you want to give that stank, just remember that I'm putting this shit on YouTube. So it's going out into the public, girl.
I'm not gonna say anything that isn't true.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, if you wanna fucking hold on to that and you take and you deal with it, I ain't dealing with it.
So upset because I love Stevie so fucking much, and I still like. I'll be sad like when she dies and shit. I mean, I know that's morbid, but like, she's in her
Yeah.
totally sad when she dies, but like, I just have no respect for her anymore. You know.
Let's do a I'm trying to think how we do this. So
Be
okay,
happy.
so
Be happy to do a Fleetwood Mac episode.
yeah, absolutely. So this would be okay. This is ladies and gents 17.1, right?
Little part at the end.
This is ladies and gents. So do you want to do it now?
We could do it whenever you want.
Okay. I need to get a beer before we do this. If we're gonna go into this shit.
I just have to write a paper tomorrow, and honestly, my TA is super cool. Well, she's my professor. She's got her PhD.
Do you want me to set a timer for like maybe 15 minutes?
No, more. No, I don't give a shit. She says, as long as you turn in by Monday at 9. She's like, listen, guys, I'm not gonna read it till 9 o'clock in the morning. That's when I download everything. It's supposed to be due tomorrow, but it's a 2-page paper.
Oh and then my God. What are you, a scrub? A 2-page paper? You can write that in 10 minutes.
Listen, I couldn't even figure out which one to fucking write about because this fucking prompt was so lame. I'm like, it's for my women.
A 2-page paper is essentially just like the thesis.
It's like it's the women's public health class, which this was literally last week was my first week. This is week 1 of 10. Okay. So we have a paper due tomorrow, and then we have a paper due next Sunday, and then we don't have another one due for a couple weeks.
What's the prompt? I'm like, really
turning the paper on first day on Easter Sunday. I'm kidding.
Do you remember what the prompt is?
Yeah, so we have to pick a female legislator in the either federal or state government who has done a lot for women's health issues, and have to talk about kind of like what they did, their background, why did they get interested in these issues? I mean, you can't just say because she's a woman, like I'm a woman and I care about women's issues. Like you have to like come up with something. So the woman I picked was
AOC. Please tell me it's AOC.
I was thinking about it. She hasn't done a lot of women's rights stuff though yet.
RBJ.
No,
sorry, RBG. My bad.
Well, see, RBG was never a legislator. She was a justice. So it would have to be. So the person I picked initially was Representative Carolyn Maloney from New York 12th District. Okay. Right, she's the chair of the House Oversight Committee. She's been on the Congress for like I want to say like 20 years at this point. She's done a shit ton for women's like issues, domestically and globally. Obviously every single Democratic woman in the legislature is pro-choice and it's all about reproductive justice, but you can't just focus on that. You have to focus on other things. And
You
for
can like
her, I'm like,
focus on like things they did here and there that like you can show like,
right,
yeah,
that this is something they've done for women's health issues. Whereas I'm looking at her and I'm like, yeah, it's like she's done a lot of stuff, but most of it's kind of legal. You know what I mean? It's not pure health stuff except for the reproductive justice stuff. And she's in the Black Maternal Caucus. But I have a really hard time picking a white woman, an old white woman, to say, oh, she's in the Black Maternal Caucus, like that's why she's great. You know what I mean? So I was also thinking about Alma Adams, who is actually the North Carolina 12th district. So if we lived downtown Charlotte, she would be the representative.
okay.
As opposed to NC9, which is, I guess, is what you guys are, and what we were growing up. But again, she's the chair of the Black Maternal Caucus. But I was looking at like, which is why I went into nursing, went into public health, was because of the Black maternal mortality crisis in this country. Like Black women are 5 times more likely to die in childbirth than white women. And it's like a systemic racism issue. So that was like one of the big things that I went into public health for. And she's chairing the Black Maternal Caucus, which is trying to put forth these issues. But there's like 30 or 40 people on this committee, and they're all men, women, white, Black, whatever. And I was going through the committee, the caucus page, and I was clicking on some of these people. I mean, I guess I'm thinking too broad. Like, I'm thinking that, it has to be someone that's like a feminist agenda, but as long as they're good on like 1 or even 2 major issues, I think it would be okay. So I spent today trying to fucking look. I'm like, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, like she was big about breast cancer. She got because she got breast cancer when she was 41 and all this. And anyway, so I'm hoping that once I figure out who I'm doing it about, which I think I'm going to do about Carolyn Maloney, but I just have to find
Yeah, I mean,
some.
if you want me to help look, I mean, I can try to look too. I mean,
Yeah. It's Carolyn Maloney. I mean, the thing that sucks about writing this paper is it's not like, I wrote a paper over an Impulse Health is like all journal articles, you know what I mean? So you can go to the library online and because we can access it through our VPN. So like, I can just but this is not that. This is about like looking up someone's biography and shit and like
yeah.
their legislative record. I'm thinking way too much about it. Don't even worry. Ignore me.
Well, no, but I was gonna say, so it only has to be 2 pages. 2
to 3 pages, yeah, double spaced.
Jesus wept. That's so short.
Well, because
So, but no, but what we do have to focus.
Have to do that I haven't done.
What you haven't done it yet, but the good thing is that it's only 2 to 3 pages, and so the only problem is now you just have to find the person, and you can spend 2.5 pages just quoting their shit.
Yeah. The good thing about this is that I'm off Monday because
that is good.
That's the women's health class, and the other one I'm taking is like prescription drug policy and public health, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
So I take both of those on Wednesday. So, but the prescription drugs class, I have to do my check-in on the async and answer the questions and all that shit by Tuesday at 5. So, and I'm working Tuesday, but I'm not working Monday. It's fine. I'm golden. I gotta stop thinking so much.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like
I have like a 3.75 grade point average right now. I just need
fuck yeah, dude. That's what's up. That's what's up.
I graduated from nursing school cum laude, which means that I had at least a 3.5. So I'm trying to get the summa cum laude, which I think I should be able to get because the magna cum laude is 3.9. So I don't think I'm gonna hit that, but I might do the middle one.
Yeah, I
Which
mean, I always told myself that because I did cum laude undergrad,
Mhm.
and I've
That was
always
all.
told myself, I was like, if I go back to school, my goal is to at least get magna.
Oh fuck yeah. No,
Yeah.
magna is the biggest one.
Oh, sorry, I meant summa.
Summa.
Yeah, fuck, I ain't getting fucking magna.
So summa cum laude for most schools is 3.75.
You were
So
summa from Carolina.
no. I graduated with 3.3, which was good, but it wasn't. It had to be 3.5 to be cum laude. So
You got.
I didn't have a cum laude.
Yeah.
You want to know what fucked me up was my first year because I did really bad. Because I took
Because you were fucking just taking too many shots. I mean, but you're about to say I took too many shots.
a whole other conversation. I mean, I don't know if you want to call up some of my friends from my freshman year in Motown. I mean, you might
Jesus. Oh, that was Morrison.
yeah,
Yeah.
old
Yeah.
Morrison. There's
Old Morrison.
one right in the front that's called Morrison South or some shit. I don't know if they renamed it. I'm like, you know how fucking pissed I would be if I were coming to Carolina this year and they put me in Morrison, like the one that I lived in, the one that when we pulled up and you said, "Hey, Meredith, nice jail." Like,
Did I say that?
do you remember? Oh my God, we can talk about.
Yeah, we can. We can talk about it. I don't think we should talk about it on the podcast, but we
No,
can talk.
we won't. Anyway. So can you imagine like how pissed off you would be like if you were driving your kid to college or wherever and you pull up to Morrison and then you look over and there's this way nicer building right in front of Morrison
Yeah.
called Morrison South that was built way after I left. I mean, it was not way after, but it was after I left. Just because there's been so many students that they've admitted. And all those rooms have air conditioning.
Am I right in saying that in your dorm room you had to have like a window unit? Is that right?
Did not have anything.
Yeah, that's horrible.
We had Courtney and I had my freshman year. We had one of those.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a box fan sorts, not really a box, but we just stuck it in the window and it had like 2 propellers. Because but the good thing was that we were one of the front. So the suite when you would walk in, so say you go up the elevator, come out, and you're walking down and to your right, it's a railing and you'll see like out, this is out railing and then the outside. To your left is where the dorms are. So every, whatever, 50 feet, 100 feet, whatever, there will be a door. And that will be the door to a suite, which had 4 rooms. So there were 2 ones in the front and 2 in the back. And luckily we had one of the ones in the front. So we got a lot of that cross breeze from the breezeway, like outside from the anyway.
Yeah.
And
I understand what you're saying.
We weren't like on the second floor. We were, the higher you went up, the more breeze you had, which was good, but it went up to 10 floors. Yeah.
I can't say that I remember exactly like the height in which you were living in Morrison, but I do remember being there. And I remember there's a picture somewhere of us where my hair was bleach blonde and I had a backwards New York Yankees red hat on because I was a Limp Bizkit fan.
You and Mom came up.
Yeah. We came
after
there,
yeah. Because I started, you and Amanda and Mom and me and all my shit. Because of course Dad had nothing to do with it. It was like, whatever, you don't want to help you get to college, whatever. So
We'll talk about it on another podcast.
exactly. The the four of us drove in that caravan.
Yeah. What color was the caravan?
I want to say it was the blue one.
Fuck yeah, it was.
It was the blue one. It wasn't
No,
the
yeah.
wood paneling. It was one after the one that smelled like soup because of or gravy. Remember we spilled like KFC gravy in it when we went to see Dave Matthews.
Dude, I have no clue what you're talking.
Anyway, I digress. So you guys dropped me off about 2 weeks before, or a week before I should have come in, because I went to freshman camp through the Campus Y. So I had to, I got to leave early, and then I went to the camp thing or whatever, which was really fun. And just trying to get to know people. And I met a lot of people there, which was the purpose, right? But the best part about it was that I got to move in early, and I could the elevators were not crowded, and like, because you can imagine.
Yeah. Once everybody else came in, they were like, "Holy fuck this!"
Having like 9 the people needing the elevator. But I do remember a funny story. I do remember one funny story about Dad, and then we can talk about whatever you want to talk about, Fleetwood Mac or whatever. So when I had to move out of the dorm at the end of the year, so it was like in May, beginning of May, Dad came up and he brought one of his clothing racks, with the metal, and it had the poles and this, and had the wheels.
Yeah.
He had the genius idea of putting all my shit. We did the boxes, we did everything, and then he just pushed it. We went into the elevator and all that. Went down. People in the elevator were like, "Where'd you get that?" He's like, "It's my personal rack," or whatever.
They're like, "Dude, where'd you get that fuking thing from?" He's like, "Fuck you, it's mine."
He came in clutch. I don't know what was going on with Mom at that time, but she might have had to work or something. Wouldn't know what the fuck happened, but because I didn't have a car, so
that was 99, right?
Right. So the end of the year, it was 2000. So like beginning of 2000.
Yeah. I think Mom was probably already working on her school stuff, right?
Yeah. So I think so.
Yeah.
So whatever, she couldn't come, and so Dad came up. Obviously, they're not going to leave me there abandoned.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like the last one sitting in front of Morrison with all my stuff, like the whole building up, and I'm just sitting
out there like, "Hey guys, can I have some help?
Yeah, like, come on, fuck you, like seriously.
Can somebody help me take up my stuff?" It's like, no.
Somebody please take me back to Charlotte, which is like 160 miles away.
Yeah, no. It's like, can you drive me back? 3.5 to 4 hours.
That was pretty clutch, and that was his idea to bring. I'm just gonna bring him a rack. I said, okay.
Yeah, fuck it. He's like, "Dude, I got this shit. Don't worry about it."
It worked out amazing.
I mean, I guess that's what dads do. They just come in clutch when it needs to be done.
Finally, he did it. So yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do?
I was gonna play because I have to go here soon, but I was gonna kind of like leave us on a good Fleetwood song.
Sure.
That a lot of people know, and we can just listen to it.
Yeah.
It's 4 minutes long.
Sure.
It's got almost it's got almost 1 billion views, or a billion listens. Yeah, it's dreams.
Dreams. Okay. That was my Cheers.
what a banger.
It's a huge banger. It is a
So good. I love it. I never get sick of it.
Nope.
All right. Well, okay,
It
so
was
we're
good being here.
what'd you say?
It was good being here.
Oh, I fucking loved that you were here with me. I think you and I have like we've talked before. I mean, you and I have talked before about like fucking doing writing a book together.
Yeah.
We've talked about doing so much creative shit together because you and
Yeah.
I love each other so much, and
Yeah.
we have so many ideas about stuff. So it's kind of cool that we can at least just sit here and listen to music together. Right?
We can do whatever you want.
Yeah,
That's fine.
we can shoot the shit. So
Yeah.
Uh,
For sure. I think it's important to, especially since I've gotten a lot older, 40. I feel like,
that's fine.
being around is just a good thing to be. Being around
Yeah.
is a good thing. Yeah.
And especially for me for like my mental health and shit, like um just for us to stay in contact and if we can like do stuff together. I think that's
Yeah,
good.
whatever you want.
Yeah,
You just
for
want to
sure.
know. You just want to know. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. So this is okay. So we're calling it episode. This is ladies and I just love how I just keep compounding upon everything. So it's ladies and gents, episode 17.2. Annyong.
Sorry to all of my Korean speaking friends out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyone else who finds it offensive, I apologize. It's just
no, I don't think anybody will find it offensive because nobody's gonna fucking listen to it. So who cares?
You listen to this whole podcast and you know that I appreciate Korea and Korean culture very much. So
Absolutely. And they know that you do as well. So yeah, I mean that's gonna wrap it up for
okay.
Episode 17.2. So all right, Murph DZ.
Next time.
You know I love you.
Love you too, buddy.
I'll holler at you later.
All right. The cats love you too. Okay, come visit
All
us.
right.